yesterday morning
Yeah,
has 511 views. That's it.
that's
The one
crazy.
I made the day before has 2077, 2001, 771.
Yeah, yeah.
But the one I just made, I don't know, less than an hour ago, has 588 views already. I didn't use any hashtags. I didn't do nothing. I didn't hold my book up or anything, but I just said, you know, it's about my body wash and chemicals and poison.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's got 588 views within less than an hour, so that's cool.
Yeah. Well, pretty much everything we consume or have in our house, like the air fresheners, the Febreze spray, certain candles, shampoos, body lotions, as well as our food contain toxins. And many of those are hormone disruptors. They're put
Yeah.
in there on purpose, okay, to mess us up. So, yeah.
I'm trying to teach Robin. Um, it's hard, but we'll get little gifts in the mail, cookies or candy bars and things like that. And I'm like, yeah, I bet you this would be delicious, but it goes right in the trash.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like you know, I've had to live my whole life that way. When I was young, when they really wanted, me dead awful bad in the 80s, if I left my house and I left something in the refrigerator that wasn't in a can, I would throw it out immediately just because I wasn't there. I don't know if somebody came in my house, tried to poison it or what.
Right.
So I threw so much. The Quigley's would always be giving me cookies and cakes and things, and automatically in the trash can.
Right, right. And you've been poisoned before, so
Oh, and it's
yeah,
terrible. It
yeah,
is so terrible.
right.
I was poisoned one time. I think it's in my book, but I was laying in bed and my bones were burning from the inside out. My whole body from the inside out was burning, and I was ready to die. I wanted to get rid of the pain. My pistol was on the nightstand, and I was like, if I could grab that,
Hmm.
I'd probably shoot myself in the head. And then I believe it was Dorothy Quigley walked into the camper trailer that I was in bed sick in, opened the door, looked at me, and I opened my eyes and looked at her, and she said, "Oh, you're still alive," and shut the
Oh.
door.
Whoa.
And then three Secret Service agents came in, and they gave me a shot, and they were like, "You'll be all right. We'll fix you up." But yeah, that was crazy. That was freaking crazy. So they knew what was going on. They
Who,
did.
like, how old were you at that point? Like in your 20s or 30s?
That was is he 60? I was like 28 years old.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, they love poison. They got people placed all over this world to do their evil deeds.
Right.
I had a girlfriend. I really don't know if this is in my book or not, but I had a girlfriend named Renee. She went with me on the truck. I was a truck driver. Um, we stopped at a casino. We did the gambling. This casino, I believe, was in Mesquite, Nevada. Maybe it was one in. I would have to do a little thinking where it was actually at. It was either in Mesquite or um, one of the casinos in Arizona. Anyway, I would have to think about it. But we were gambling, and then we stopped to do the buffet. We had the buffet, and we got back in the truck, and we were going, and she got deathly sick, bad stomach ache. Um, I'm like, she was like, pull over. We pulled over at one truck stop. I'm like, we need to get you to a hospital. She's like, no, no, no. I said, well, we got to get going. We can't just sit here at a truck stop. We got to get you to a hospital or keep going, or. So we went up 20 miles up the road. She's like, you got to pull over. So we stopped at another truck stop. Um, Nightfall came. I was like, are you ready to go to a hospital? She was like, no. I went to sleep. Um, Government agents came in with a new Renee. They
What?
switched places. They took the sick Renee out of the truck. and they put a new Renee in the truck. And the new Renee was freaking, but they were identical fucking twins. Identical. She was scared to death of what was going on. I could tell. She was scared of me. But yeah, they did a switch at a truck stop. The government agents did that. They took the sick Renee out of my truck and put a body double right in the truck.
So were you,
I've got lots of stories. So I don't know if somebody poisoned Renee and she died. I don't know the whole story. I don't know any of the story, but yeah, I ended up with a new brand new girlfriend that day.
now, were you awake when they brought the second one in? Like, did you wake up to
I
see what?
was under a MK Ultra. They made sure I was under MK Ultra when they were doing this. But I remember what happened in the longer you put under MK Ultra, you remember more.
Wow. So it's interesting that they had a double all like queued up. You know what I mean? That they had one so handy.
Yeah, and there's so much money involved with these people. That's the only thing I can think of. Um, so much money.
Yeah.
What's actually in their bank accounts, and it's crazy how far this can get. But yeah, when you wonder why, um, it's all over money, and all these people are part of different families across the United States. Um, Renee was part of another family from New York, upstate New York, and every other thing. Um, but they are all connected. It's really crazy.
Wow.
Most of my girlfriends have been placed.
So this second Renee, did you ever have a conversation with her about like, hey, where have you been? Like, why are you here? That kind of thing? Or did you just go about like it was normal?
Well, in a truck, you share the same bunk bed. So, when it was time for me to go to sleep, she was like, oh, like, don't touch me and this kind of thing. Um, when we got back, we ended up breaking up. She went her way and I went my way. But Renee's sister, I felt sorry for Renee. I was living in a camper trailer myself, and I acquired a camping trailer, and I gave it to Renee, so she wasn't homeless. And so we were living, not too far away. But Renee's sister Jennifer came to visit her, and her sister Jennifer, I heard the argument, and the argument was, "You're not my fucking sister. Where the fuck is my sister?"
Wow.
And Jennifer, I like Jennifer, but you never know what's going through somebody else's head. And she was like, "I got to get the fuck out of here." It's like, well, you just got here. I wish you could stay. Um, Maybe we can go out to dinner. She's like, "No, I got to get the fuck out of here," and left. And I haven't seen Jennifer again. Um, I don't know, but I got a lot of stories to tell.
Yeah.
Identity theft is freaking huge. It is so huge what they can do with lookalikes and replacing people. It, it's huge. And I just told one crazy freaking story about how I'm a personal witness to it, how it's done.
Wow. It's like I said, shocking that they had a double ready so quickly, unless it was planned. You know what I mean?
It, it has to be planned. It was probably planned years and years in advance. I mean, these secret societies, these people that are running our government, the shadow government, our secret service, they plan everything ahead of time. Um, for one instance, Bill Clinton, I was brought with Bill Clinton in a limousine. Me and Bill Clinton side by side in a limousine. We pulled up in front of a house. We got out. Well, I got out. He stayed in the car, but there was 5 or 6 federal agents in the car. This black woman came to the limousine. Bill Clinton and her were having sex in the limousine. But these federal agents had Bill Clinton under MK Ultra at this time. I was under MK Ultra, and he was under MK Ultra, but they were telling Bill Clinton what to do. These federal agents, and then later in life, I heard Bill Clinton had a son, and that son was colored from a colored mother. That son was trying to say, "Hey, I'm Bill Clinton's son," and he was being covered up, but he was making a little headway because I saw it myself on the news. I don't remember what year it was. It's been 6, 7, 8 years now since I remember seeing that, but I don't know if he ever got his story out. But this guy was saying, "Hey, Bill Clinton's my son, my father," and he's denying that I even exist. So, what our shadow government does, why they did that, why they took Bill Clinton to that house so he could have, I don't know. I really don't. But I do believe he was. Oh, and there was a lot of cocaine snorting too.
Mm. You know, this
Bill
should
Clinton
make,
was Bill Clinton was lining them up, and I probably partook too. Um, but yeah, what was going on? I don't know. Um, I think other things happened after that. But yeah, the whole Monica Lewinsky thing and all that was all done with MK Ultra. I don't know why. Maybe it's to get Bill Clinton in, you know, the shadow government's pocket, so they have some leverage against the president of the United States. They put him in place anyway, but just to have that extra leverage, you're going to do this for us, and you're going to do that for us. Um, you know, but yeah, that's a true story. Um, what our presidents have gone through and the money that they can steal.
right.
This goes back all the way to Walmart and every other thing, Sam Walton. But yeah, the Clinton Foundation. It's all the same crime ring. It's all organized crime that they're allowed to steal billions of freaking dollars and distribute it any way they want. But it's all run by the shadow government. The shadow government is basically putting them under MK Ultra and telling them what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if a good looking woman's put in front of them and lines of cocaine, even if they're under MK Ultra, it's like, hey, it's a free for all. Because MK Ultra, you're still awake, but in a different state, a different part of your brain at the time. And how to try to explain that. And I don't, I just go by what I heard. So you can't quote me on this, but I heard Einstein only used a fraction of his brain. If you can picture somebody's brain and picture, 7 or 8% of your brain, and you're a genius. So there's all kinds of parts of your brain that, you know, can be used, and they probably are under MK Ultra. I still don't know when I was a child when they cut that circle in my head what the actual operation was. I don't know if they did a little slice here or a little slice there, or put a little sensor in there. I have no idea. But all I know is if I go to sleep and they push a button and those frequencies hit my head, I'm under a deep hypnosis. Just like I'm awake, but when they turn that switch off, you don't remember, just like hypnosis. Um, that's the best way I can describe it.
And I think you had more than one implant, like you had physical implants, but you also had, we'll call it torture, like mind fracturing, where you were witness to all these horrific images over and over and over. And it makes you basically compliant to what they suggest or order you to do.
Well, even as a child, they said they would use me.
Yeah.
I went to the FBI, and this was Calaveras County, the mass murders in Calaveras County. And that's a huge cover up too. There was so many people that were murdered there by our government. And I stepped into a federal government, I believe it was the FBI surveillance vehicle that was there in Calaveras County. And they told me to confess to murder to them. I confessed to murder to them. I said, hey, I was being tortured. I was locked in a cage. I said, they told me if I didn't kill somebody, I would be killed myself. But I went and confessed to these federal agents in the surveillance van. And their comment, I think Wayne had me do that just to see their comment. Their comment was, "It's okay because we're going to use you for the rest of your life." That was their comment to me, confessing to a murder.
That should have
It's
everyone extremely concerned so that this is happening. And you're not the only person this has happened to in history.
Oh, I get so many comments. I don't know what to do. I really don't. I get people, many comments. They killed my husband. They killed my children. They took my children away over and over. I don't know what I can do. If I had money, I could do this and that, but it takes money to do this kind of stuff. I'm planning this trip to Arlington. I really want it to happen, but it's like I just got paid. Now I'm broke again, and it's like I couldn't get freaking, you know, to Phoenix from here if I had to and back. Um, if I had money, I would set up probably a website, some way, get these people in one group because right now they're not getting help. They're all individuals coming to me with all these things.
Right.
Um, but somehow we need to unite and make us all heard. Um, somebody on TikTok was telling me, um, if you remember, "We Are the World," the song, "We Are the Children."
Yeah.
Somebody messaged me. It's a great idea. They wanted to start that up for me. Um, it's a wonderful idea, but how are we going to do it? Um, we need miracles. We need God to step in and unite all these people that have all been screwed by the system.
Right.
Somehow, we have to.
Well, first is getting the message out. And then I think before you get help, excuse me, I think really it's exposing the people that are doing wrong. And I think that's what's happening now. If you're watching the news or, again, it's not on the news, the mainstream news, but if you watch alternative channels, you'll see things are starting to happen for, against those that are dark and evil. You're going to see that those of the light are stepping forward. And I think you're going to have the support that you need. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
sure hope so.
I don't think you're
These,
still here
I'm sorry.
for no reason. Like, you've been saved so many times. Look at all the times they've tried to kill you. You're still here, right? We're here
Yeah.
supporting you. We need to get the word out to people, but you're still here for a reason.
Well, there was a lot of people keeping me, um, trying to keep me. Is really weird because they would use me on missions, put me under MK Ultra. Um, I was beat. I was battered so many times um, with them using me. This is kind of a story I shouldn't be sharing, but when I believe it was I broke my back, they didn't want scars. They didn't want me walking around with scars for surgery. So they actually went through my ass to do their surgery. Um, they there's so many people helping me, but they're trying to keep it quiet at the same time. But um, yeah, that's what the lengths they will go to keep this quiet, to keep it hush hush. I don't even know where I was going with that, but that's the extremes that they have used and
Right.
used me for. Um, it's crazy. It's
Right.
crazy.
Right.
But it's something with the ranks and everything in our government. I believe me being a lot of people say bloodline and all this other stuff, but me being born in the White House and all the training I have gone through secretly, um, it's really been crazy. I've been blown up for God's sakes, um, blown through the water, laying on the side of a riverbank, um, going, God help me, and somebody yelling in my ear, "You weren't here, you weren't here, you weren't here, you were never here. You can't tell a fucking soul you were here." But that's the kind of missions and things that you know that I've learned. It's
Yeah.
it's hard for most people to understand. I'm sharing the truth of what's really going on within our government, our secret government. Um, I'm And why am I exposing this? Why am I sharing this to the world? And there's a lot of answers, but one of them is they fucked me over. Our shadow government fucked me over. Our shadow government murdered my loved ones, killed my family, used identity theft and replaced my family, and stole billions of my family's money, my inheritance. So it's all about payback too. Not all of it, but a lot of it's justice and letting people know so they can get justice. But it's payback time for me. It really is. They these federal agents said, "Yeah, we're going to fucking use you for the rest of your life." Well, guess what? I'm going to expose you and let them all know that you're all a bunch of scum sucking motherfuckers, straight up. And I'm putting it right out there.
Yeah.
I'm John fucking Kennedy Jr. and I'm alive, and it's my payback time, motherfuckers.
Yeah. Justice for John.
It's justice for the world.
Justice for the world. Yeah, this story is bigger than just what's happening in the USA. This is a worldwide problem. Now we're focused on what's happened to you because you've got firsthand experience, you've got stories, you've got names. You've had interaction with so many celebrities, politicians, people that we would know the name of. And it shocks us because we're, going about our normal middle class lives or whatever, not knowing any of this has happened.
Wayne used to say it's a small world.
Yeah,
Keep them all close. I've met so many people, but if you think about organized crime and the crime ring, they want to know everybody. If somebody is making a lot of money, they want that person under their belt.
right,
They want some dirt on that. They want to be able to blackmail them. Hollywood. If you're a fucking Hollywood star, I'm going to tell everybody that's listening, they are a member of organized fucking crime. Some way, somehow, organized crime has them in their pocket. I don't care who it is. I don't care. All of them. Organized crime is that big. If you're a big movie star, you're a member of organized crime.
right,
If you're a rock star, you're a member of organized crime. I don't care if it's rock, classic rock, opera. I don't care. If that person is making a lot of money, making millions of dollars, organized crime has them in their pocket. And sports. I don't care if you're fucking OJ or, they get these professional ball players that are making millions and millions of dollars. They got them in their pocket.
right,
And they can do crimes. If you're a Hollywood actor, you're protected. If you are a movie star, you're protected. Normal people can't get close to you. If you have a problem, the cops are fucking right on it. You can get away with fucking murder. And they do. And it's not just Diddy or Epstein or any of, Beyonce or none of them. It's all of them. These people are being singled out. Um, it's huge. It, it's huge how big they're connected. And that goes to all the rackets. So you got the sports, you got Hollywood, you got our government, but then you also have the hotels, the casinos. If these people are making big freaking money, they're connected, they're protected. It's that easy. These people are put in place by organized crime, and if they're not, they'll take them out. If they're not a member and they're a hotel casino owner, they will be taken out and they will be replaced. So then they are connected, and they've been doing it and doing it and doing it. The whole thing's a racket. It's all people need to wake up.
right,
People really need to wake up to what's really going on.
right. So it's all about basically money. So they'll take the person's identity, they control the person, they suck the money out of the business or the person's account, whatever it might be. And then they make that person has been basically forced to do whatever they want, or they're killed, or their family is threatened, whatever it
Oh
might be.
yeah, I mean it goes, and while I was talking about all this, the car dealerships, you
Yeah,
know, you get somebody that's a movie star and they're being controlled, you know. the organization is going to tell them, I want you to go buy four Ford pickup trucks at this dealership. Don't ask that, just go buy them. Well, you know, the guy at the dealership, the owner, you know, is all part of the same racket. And that
Right.
goes from the Harley dealerships, motorcycle dealerships. The racket is so freaking huge and so organized. And it's people like us that are getting screwed. We people are getting screwed while these people are making more money and more money, being controlled by organized crime. Organized crime's getting more bigger. I don't know if that's it. Getting stronger, more
Yeah.
powerful. But it has been going on. These people are, the politicians. They're being selected. They're being trained at a very young age to be who they are. Like I was sharing pictures of me with the John replacement that replaced me. That was in the early 70s that I've shared in my book and everywhere else. But you got Denzel Washington and Sean Hannity. We were children. Um, the school we went to was being run by our CIA, training these children, getting them put in. You're going to do what you're going to do. We're going to make you rich. We're going to make you fucking famous from children on. Um, and that's how they do it. People don't understand it's that freaking powerful. They're training children, when they're 10 years old on how they're going to become a big part of this world and be on the news every freaking day and be in famous movies. It's all pre-planned, and it goes
Yeah.
back to these children at a very young age.
Right. I heard that George W. Bush was also selected as a, child to be a
Oh,
president. He was running around like
oh
I'm
yeah,
a
the Bush
president.
family,
Yeah.
um, the Bush family. And with that said, what was her name? Barbara Bush at her funeral. Um, all the past presidents were there. All the former high ups were at her funeral, and they were passing a note around. And the first thing when they were passing a note to each other at the funeral, because that's how they get all together to pass their information. Funerals, things where they brought them all together. You think some of those people didn't want to be there? Of course, they didn't want to be at her funeral. They were made. It was a photo op. So you had all of them at her funeral, all the former presidents at her funeral, and they're passing notes around to each other. The first thing that came to my mind when I saw what was going on, I think I watched it live when they were passing notes back and forth to each other. That note said, John Kennedy Jr. is coming out to expose us all.
Wow.
And I am. And I'm
Wow.
bringing some rope.
All right. I support you.
Thank you.
I support you. I want people to know this story. I want their thought process to be expanded. That, we live in this world, we have these rules, we all try to follow the rules, and they're just tightening the screws on the common person. Prices are going up, there's more laws that are against the people. It's harder and harder just to live and support your family anymore. And
Oh, the
we're
struggles are crazy. The struggles are crazy.
Yeah, and now we're seeing like all this corruption start to come out. All right, it's really coming out now. So for those that are awakened, we're seeing it happen in real time. It's got to come out, it's got to be exposed for it to be handled.
Yeah, what people need to wake up to is they're all a club.
Yeah,
And 90% of us don't belong to their club.
right.
When I was a child, growing up as a child, I was sent all over this world as John Kennedy Jr. Up until the age, um, I believe I was 14 or 15 years old. I traveled the world. I was on Onassis Island. I was in Japan. I was in China. I was in all over the world as a child, learning. But one thing they teach you is it's us and them. We're the 10%. It's us. We control the rest 90%.
Right.
I lived that. They were teaching me we're the elite, not them. They don't matter. Um, that's how I was taught. But after the age of 15, I lived a life of poverty. I became one of the 90%, um, struggling every day. And so I learned, I don't even know where I'm going with it. I'm just trying to share. But I learned what, from a child, it's us, not the people. It's us. We're the elite. And then when I got put in witness protection, hidden out, whatever you want to call it, kidnapped and replaced, I became one of that 90%, struggling every day, feeling the heartbreak of people losing their homes, being homeless, sleeping in their cars, living in an RV. I lived in a truck. I lived in a fucking truck for 25 years. I never had a home. I never had an apartment. Well, I did once for a month, and then shit came down. I leave. But for most of those 25 years, I lived in the back of a freaking truck, running from California to New York, all over the place, um, learning what it's like, and it's not good what these elite are doing to us.
Right.
And it's we the people. It really is. And we the people need to unite, rally together, and set these fucking people in their little clique that said, their organization that put presidents in place to keep running and controlling us. Um, we could solve so many problems in the whole world. I get messages from all over the world: Canada, Australia, Ireland, England. So many. My story's getting out all over. I beg people to keep sharing the hell out of it, because we can fix things with shares, and a lot of prayers. But we really need to do it. I hope people are listening to what I'm saying. Um, the takeover, it's brutal in the elite. It's a lot of murders, a lot of identity theft, a lot of cover-ups. Um, but what do these elite people, with all that they have been doing, controlling the media, on not wanting stories out, what is their big plans? It scares the fuck out of me. What their big plan is for us. Um, these people are greedy. They are so greedy. They have no problem killing children for what they want, and it does. The future of America could be in grave danger by these elites that a lot of them aren't even who they say they are. They have been killed. They have been a replacement has been put in their place. This goes to Biden. This goes to Trump. Another thing, just out of the blue, people. Donald Trump always wore a red tie everywhere. Um, a lot of it was to show support that I believe for the Republican Party. They all put the little flag on their suit. Um, that's to show that they're all the same little clique in politics. But when he was convicted on all those counts the other day, he had a big bright blue tie on. I was like, blue, that ain't him. But they're sending messages with simple ties and pins, to other. They send secret messages all over.
Right.
They're trained
Yeah.
so much. But yeah, that big blue tie was some kind of message to somebody.
Yeah. I think it was on one of your TikToks or your YouTubes the other day. You said that Dorothy Quigley, your let's see, we'll call her adopted mom, whatever you want to call her, witness protection mom, was like convicted of a crime. And so they had a double stand in for her. And so the double was supposed to go to jail, but she ended up being murdered before she got to jail.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm a personal eyewitness to them
Yeah.
trying to convince this Dorothy Quigley to take this other Dorothy Quigley's place.
Yeah.
I got a comment on that video. Dorothy Quigley never sold real estate in New York or, on the East Coast. And it's like, you don't understand what the fuck I'm saying. You can be in California selling fucking real estate in New York, but they got another person to play Dorothy Quigley.
Right.
And when they got caught at their crimes and they were getting ready to go to court, that Dorothy Quigley was fucking killed. Straight up. Some of these comments, they don't get the depth of what I'm saying with identity theft, murder, and
Right.
how they can use a replacement to cover their crimes, get their crimes done. It's more than robbing the fucking liquor store on the corner. They can rob the liquor store. You never know they robbed the liquor store. Next thing the owner says, Where'd my fucking cash, cash go? Um, if you go rob a bank, this is a good example. If you go rob a bank today, go in there with an AK-47, rob the bank, you get 5,000 fucking dollars, 5,000 bucks. And then you got the chance of going to prison for years for robbing that bank. Well, you can get three people. You can get a notary, a real estate agent. You can step in to somebody's house and kill that person, use a body double, and sign a couple papers. What's their house worth? 10, 20 million, 200,000. I mean, price of houses. So you can steal somebody's identity, make them disappear, and you can make $250,000 with a couple signatures and a fucking notary stamp.
Wow. Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about getting shot in a bank robbery or anything else.
Yeah. Wow. That's mind
And
blowing to think about.
with that said, if you really think about how big identity theft can be, you can find a ranch, a huge ranch, a big ranch in California, um, thousands and thousands of acre ranch, and you can take that rancher out. Just take him out. Steal that ranch from that man. I mean, he's a rancher. He doesn't have friends coming over every day and everything else. So you take that rancher out. You just acquired a ranch worth millions of dollars. Well, they're greedy. That ranch ain't big enough. So what do? You subdivide that ranch. You make little freaking tenth of an acre freaking partials. You subdivide it. You get a freaking bulldozer in there. You make some fucking roads, and you just have $1 billion investment for taking one rancher out. Identity theft is huge. And why do I say that? Because I'm a personal eyewitness to that in the 70s. In the 70s, when my loved ones were being killed and property being stolen from them. And yeah, it's huge what organized crime can do, and right in front of people's faces.
Right.
And they don't notice. I'm a great example. Use me, people, as example. I'm John Kennedy Jr. All the childhood photos are of me. Everyone you see up to the age of 10 years old is me. Then you see my replacement, my stepbrother, placed by the mafia to steal my identity, growing his hairs over his ears. They had me grow my hair because they were planning to put him in my shoes and get rid of me. It's shit's planned. I'm a great example. Use me, people. Share what's going on. We're in grave danger with the shadow government that has taken over our government. And they want it all. They want it all. They want your property. They want everything you got.
Right.
They really do.
Right.
Think about it. Think about it.
I think, I mean, there's always a silver lining, and this is like just a teeny one, okay? But for you being kept in poverty and all that, you have witnessed all of this stuff. It's made you smart and strong and compassionate to the plight of the common person, okay? Like, you were born into a wealthy family that was in the public eye, but you might not have seen it from that point of view without all the experiences that you had. There's a reason for it all. And now you're more compassionate. You know how all this stuff has worked. You've seen it in operation. You're telling us like we wouldn't have thought of this, right?
Yeah. Well, when I was a child, I had it. I did. When I was a child, I remember having maid service every morning that would bring me breakfast. We'd sit outside and they would cut the grapefruit, make sure I had a half glass of orange juice and then a little glass of milk. And I mean, I had service when I was just a child. They were putting that shit right in front of me.
Right.
And when shit changed, I mean, I was struggling where I was going to find cornflakes.
Yeah.
But for me to walk a mile in the shoes I had to walk, it was a great lesson, a huge, huge lesson.
Yeah.
Um, seeing what's really going on from
Yeah.
both sides.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not saying that it's a great thing that it happened. It happened because it was supposed to evidently, but you are, you're still here, you're telling the story, you're educating us because we don't know about all of this.
Oh,
So,
and they don't want me sharing either. They're hindering, they're blocking. They don't want the average American to know what I'm telling and
yeah,
how they work.
yeah,
I mean, I'm exposing how organized crime works
right,
and what they do to make their money. You got the government saying organized crime doesn't exist, straight up. I'm showing and telling how they make their money. Um, all they have to do is follow the money trail. It's all about money, money, money,
right,
money.
right,
All they would have to do is follow the money trails of where that money went to. I'm sharing my mother was murdered, my mother's family was murdered, my father's family was murdered. All they have to do is find out where that fucking money was going. Aristotle Onassis. All they have to do is follow his money trail. He was murdered. He was replaced. His island, the island I went fishing on, the island I was, the island I lived on when my stepbrother was murdered and he died in my arms. That fucking island is now in the Russians' hands. All they have to do is follow all the money trails and where they go. But they're covering it all up. They're covering me up. They don't want this story out because it's so fucking big where all that money went to.
yeah. Wow. It's going to be revealed, I think. It's interesting though.
And the money today. There's so much, all the copyrights, all the pictures. Just for a picture of if you want to put the Kennedy family or anything in a book, it costs you money. Um, what else was all in their in their portfolio? It's huge, but all you have to do, I'm exposing they were killed and their shit was stolen. I mean, this one's right in front of the whole world, right in front of everybody's face.
Right.
Caroline and John Jr. sold my mother's possessions at auction, Sotheby's auction house. I think just for their little possessions was $34 million. That was done with the help of Donald Trump at Trump Tower. If you follow the money trail, it exposes everybody that's fucking involved. But you think they're gonna fucking come out and say Donald Trump was involved in the murder of Jackie Kennedy and the selling of all the possessions for millions and millions of dollars? I want to see it. I want to see it on all the news channels. I want justice for it. But they're covering it all up. And all
Right.
they have to do, and that's just a little teeny incident. If they follow the money trail, it is so fucking huge. That little story is 100-fold all over. So yeah, our federal agents aren't doing their fucking jobs, is what I'm saying.
Right, right. Yeah. So that also exposes how the Secret Service, the CIA, everyone has failed you. The FBI, they were all in on all the crime that you witnessed. You've gone to them for help. They did not provide the help. And then they have helped you, maybe a person here or there, but they have been just as guilty as the perpetrators.
Yeah, somebody the other day said there was a FBI agent and another agent or something in government that was doing a story about, I don't remember what it was, Wyatt Earp or some story about some Western historic person. And they said, "Hey, I shared your story with that agent," and they were like, "I never got a response." But I'm happy. I'm happy. These people are actually like, "Hey, we need to share John's story and get it the frick out there." So yeah, more power to everybody sharing this. We need to unite, keep sharing, and with all my heart, I'm hoping I get justice. We're being hindered. We are being hindered. There's so many lions, so many people sharing. We're being hindered. They don't want it out. We need to expose these people that don't want it out.
Right.
Um, like we were talking about earlier. Um, if your best friend kills somebody and you hide that person out in your home and you're hindering law enforcement so they don't get the truth out about the murder, um, you're guilty. You're going to prison too if you get caught for doing that. These people that are hindering my story and blocking my story so I cannot get justice for the murder and theft and everything else on my family, um, they're guilty in my eyes. They are extremely guilty. There's probably many crime things they can be charged for it, but they're doing it on the low key. They're doing it all over the internet and the media and every other thing.
Right.
They're making sure that we are hindered in so many different ways, but they are freaking guilty of the
Right.
scenario, just like I explained. They're 100% guilty for
Right.
blocking us and
Yeah.
getting the truth out. They're hindering murder. They are hindering murder.
Right. And they're like the social media sites are just as guilty as well. They're removing the videos, they're blocking the videos, they are messing with the counts, the popularity. We can't find the channel, blah, 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 blah. So they are gonna probably have to come down as well.
Yeah, it's all been taken over by this big organization
Yeah.
with big money. It's all
Yep.
being controlled,
Yep.
and yeah, we need to expose them. We really
Yeah.
do.
Basically, I think social media was just designed to spy on the common person, the opinions, where the person
Oh,
is, tracking the
yeah,
person, their personal
they can
stuff.
get so much intel. Yeah,
Yeah,
so much intel. But hopefully it big backfire because when my father was assassinated, we didn't have internet. We had to get everything off the TV or the radio. We got
or
internet now, and
newspapers. Yeah,
people like us talking about it. So yeah, maybe we can use their tools they got to control us to get our story out.
right.
TikTok. I exploded on TikTok months ago when I first came out, and that was quickly shut down. Um, but yeah, my story was blasting off, 7 months ago on TikTok. I made a video and I sat there half hour. I came back from outside, looked at it, it had 20,000 views in a half hour,
Mm,
just one of my
right,
videos.
right.
I was like, oh fuck, this is gonna happen. This is gonna work. Yesterday I made a video and it got I don't remember what it was, 400 views maybe. And I'm like, how did that go? 7 months ago, 6 months ago, from
Right.
20,000 views in a half hour to 400 views. And now I got 43,000 and climbing followers. How can I only get 400 views? I was just like, come on, people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're messing with the counts. And so that don't let that dishearten you. Your story is getting out there. People are, they're waking up. And we didn't do the introduction today. So here is John's book, Stolen Identity. This is what it looks like. And we're encouraging everyone to purchase it from Amazon and or go to your library, your local bookstores, ask them to stock this book. Share this book around with people. It tells the core story that we're talking about. But every week we come on here and John has got new stories, names, dates, all sorts of information that we haven't heard before. And, so like I know in my case, I'm learning things that I would never have considered about how organized crime works, how our government's working. It's not for the people. It's not for the common man, you know?
And with that said, shout out to King Smarty. Look, brother, I'm wearing it. But
Yeah.
yeah, Robin King sent me these healing things. Um when I first got them, I thought they were some kind of game you played. I had no idea. I was new to the frequencies. But Robin has these set on my book. She's like, "You want to get your book out there? You put those on top of your book." So every time I grab my book, I got to move those thingies off the way. But
Yep. Yep.
this is my book, people, and I really want to help this country. I really, really do. I got plans to go to Arlington, Virginia, on a ride across the country for everybody to get a signature on my trailer. And we can make world news, even though the world news doesn't want our story out. We can do it. But I need your help, even if it's a dollar in the tank will help me get to Arlington and back home. And it would be so appreciated. I don't like saying I need a dollar for gas, but people, I need a dollar for gas.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so in the description of this video, I'll put your I'm sorry, YouTube link. John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., but Jr. is spelled out, not just JR. And then the Cash App link, which would be like anything you feel called to donate will really help. like John
Oh,
Sur.
I
Yeah,
appreciate the people donating. I really, really do. It's
yeah.
awesome. It gives me hope. It gives me inspiration that we can do this. Um, one of King Smarty's people sent me a check for, I believe it was $150. And I was like, what a blessing. That's going to help out so much. So I went to the bank last week and I was like, that's way cool of somebody to do that. Um, I went to the bank and I went up to tell her, I said, I want to cash this. I was getting ready to sign it. She said, you can't cash that. You're not John Kennedy Jr. And I was like, what? And I looked at the check and they wrote to John Kennedy Jr. That's what I'm fighting for, is to get my name back. Our government, they really messed me up by giving me the name David Keith Quigley. Maybe they might have saved my life in the long run a few times here and there by naming me David Keith Quigley. But I want my name back, the name my mother and father gave me. And I can't cash a check that says John Kennedy at the bank because my ID in my pocket says David Quigley. But that's one of the things I'm fighting for. There's so many things that I'm 63 years old. Just by them giving me the name David Keith Quigley, I gotta wait 6 extra years to get my retirement. 6 extra years. All the little things like that add up and just drive me freaking crazy. Um, but yeah, they and then not them not to acknowledge that I'm the real John Kennedy Jr. There's a lot of crazy shit involved in my story. There
I
really
guess
is.
there are. Yeah, yeah. We don't think about that, but yeah, you're right. So your ID basically shows that you're 6 years younger than you really are. So
Right,
you can't collect Social Security at this point.
right. It's little things
Wow.
like that. Me being in all the military service and all the secret training and everything,
Yeah.
I can't go to a VA hospital. I can't. Not that I'd want to because they're all crooked. And, by my understanding, they treat our veterans like shit. And, everything run by the government needs help.
Yeah.
Everything, every single thing. These people in organized crime, they skim off the top so much. Um, there's so much more our government can do, really.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't it true though, last time you went to the hospital, you went for like an operation and they did way they did a lot more than they said they were going to do and you almost died.
Oh, I did think I was going to die. It wasn't the last time. The last time I was in the hospital was a year and a half ago. Going on 2 years now, but they put a stent in my heart. I had massive heart failure. They had to go in and put a tube in my heart. Blood was blowing out the side of my heart. But I think that had a lot to do with what they did to me in 2013. I mean, they screwed me up in the hospital so freaking bad. They said that I just had to go in for a simple hernia operation. Um, I was in the hospital for 10 days for a simple hernia operation. I finally checked myself out because after that hernia operation, I woke up. I had, I believe it was 6 incisions with big staples put all over my chest. I had the burn marks on my chest from the defibrillator where they had to start my heart. My back was fucking, I couldn't walk. They fucked me up that bad. I mean, I had to use a walker. Um, but they hid me out. They hid me out on a floor that wasn't the intensive floor. It was like they hid me out on the second floor. Intensive care was on the third. I was screaming in pain for 3 days. I think it was on that floor. I need my pain medicine. They wouldn't give me. I think I was on morphine for the pain at that time. They wouldn't give me my pain medicine. So I'm sitting there down screaming, motherfuckers, um, for days. And then finally, the doctor that fucked me all up shows up and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was out golfing or whatever the fuck he said." And he's like, I'm gonna put you in intensive care now." So yeah, after the operation, after they fucked me up for 3 days, they kept me hid out on the floor. 3 days later, they finally put me in intensive care, but they gave me one of those things because the pain was so fucking bad. All I had to push it was a fucking button, and the shit would go in there to kill the pain. They fucked me up bad. And then I had an IV. And I was like, I'm always thinking somebody's out to fucking kill me. I mean, they just almost did there. I look at the IV. The IV's got fucking shit in it. It looked like fucking somebody grabbed some dust off the floor of dirt and put it in the fucking IV going in my arm. So I look down and there's shit fucking going in my fucking arm. And I'm like, I told the nurse, why is that dirt going in my fucking arm? She's like, oh, that's fucking normal. And I know fucking dirt in an IV tube ain't fucking normal. I was like, what the fuck are they trying to fucking kill me? That shit. Um, I think it was 10 days I was in the hospital. And this was 2013. The doctor comes in, he looks at me, he says, okay, there's no infection going on. You're looking good. I'm like, I'm out of here. He's like, oh, we need you to stay a couple more days. I looked at him and said, if I stay a couple more fucking days in here, I'm going to be dead. I could barely walk. I shaved. I hadn't had a bath in 10 days. Um, I ended up leaving myself. But when I got the hospital bill, I was in there for 10 freaking days. I got the hospital bill. That doctor in that hospital only charged the medical insurance for 2 day stay because the rest they covered up. They
Wow.
they they bit the cost of all that whole hospital's intensive care stay and said, yeah, it was just the hernia operation and he's out. And then when the nurses came in, when I was still in the hospital, they tried to blame it on my smoking. I looked down, I had 6 fucking incisions, IVs in my arm. They poked holes in my fucking lungs. These motherfuckers poked holes in my lungs. And then they're trying to tell me it was because I was smoking. It's like you're doing a hernia operation and you're fucking jabbing me fucking my heart and my lungs and everything else. I remember 2 guys. I think this was after a couple days I was in there. 2 guys grabbed me. I couldn't walk. One guy had each arm. They dragged me to the fucking X-ray. They took the X-rays of my chest. They had a lung specialist come in, but one of the workers there was like, "They fucked you up bad, man. They fucking your whole fucking side of your lung was just fucked up with their fucking machine, and they covered it all up. They covered it all up. You know, I need a team of. I still want fucking justice for what they did. I don't know what they all did, but they sure fucked up.
Wow. And so the,
And then what was weird is the Quigley's thought I did die that day. The Quigley family thought I was dead. I had a girlfriend, and this girlfriend took me and dropped me off at the hospital. Well, I talked to that girlfriend after 10 days, and she was like, Dorothy Quigley said, don't have anything to do with him. He's gone.
wow. Wow. Another time they made a little slip of the tongue.
Yeah. I
Wow.
was like, I was in that hospital for 10 days. This is my steady girlfriend at the time. It's like, where were you? You didn't come see me. She was like, Dorothy Quigley said, don't bother.
Awful.
So when I get comments about Dorothy Quigley and how she was never this and how she was never that, I got all these fucking stories to share. Um, and I'm sharing them.
Yeah.
I don't care. If they got a problem, take me to fucking court because I'd be glad to expose them for all the fucking crimes that they did to me, all the cover ups they did to me, the switching of children, and having my nuts cut so I could not have children so they could put their blood family in place pretending to be my children and every other fucking thing these sneaky motherfuckers do.
Horrible. Horrible. Thank you for what you've gone through and telling your story. I mean, it has had to take a lot of courage to step forward and tell the story. You've been threatened multiple times about telling your story. They said that they would kill you. And that's a question I get all the time. Why has he waited? Well, his life has been threatened, but we're getting it out there. And so
Yeah,
if you're
it's
watching, please
awesome.
share it around.
I sure appreciate you, Sue.
Yeah.
I really, really do. I
I'm
do.
really,
I
really
appreciate all the
sorry.
lions.
Yeah.
I appreciate all the lions.
Yeah. What you went through is horrible. Like it's like you couldn't make this up if you tried. There's so much detail here. There's so many unusual things, horrible things. And it's been a life of struggle. struggle, poverty, pain, betrayal. So any way you can
And
support John is appreciated.
if I screw up when I don't take notes. I don't even read my own book. I didn't even read the whole book proofreading. I started reading my book and had tears in my eyes 3 times. I told Jackie, the writer, I said, it's all good. It's all good. You put it out there. We already chatted about it. But
Yeah.
I don't write shit down. This is what I wrote down. This is my notes for our interview today. And see my scribbles. This is my notes for what me and you were talking about. I wanted to share that when people go out of the way, that's what I wrote on there. That's my note. When people go out of the way, and I just wanted to bring it up because we are hindered and we are blocked. We are shadow banned. They don't want this truth out. They're going out of their way to cover us up.
Yeah.
And that's what I wrote. That's what I wanted to share. It's not like I have a whole bunch of notes. Um, I'm just sharing with you my experience, and you're chatting with me, and hope the listeners will get involved.
Right, right. I appreciate all of your time in sharing the story. And for those watching again, please order the book, share the book, ask the library to stock the book, share the story, the videos, this, verbally, but social media shares, everything you can do. And if you can see to donate to John, he greatly appreciates it. So, yeah. Thank you for telling your story today. It was super interesting and I can see it's definitely upsetting. So thank you.
Oh, well, I thank you, and hopefully, someday here in the near future, I can meet you and meet King, and
Yeah,
that would be awesome. I really
it'll
would.
be very soon.
I hope you and your show and King make world news. You deserve it.
And you will too.